Hello and welcome back to the Torentsu Game Review Show. Hopefully the camera will not kick me out from recording this time and I can finally present to you episode 11 of the show. I'll be reviewing a game called Blood Warrior for arcade that's so ridiculous it makes tattoo assassins look fun. Well, that's a bit of an overstatement. Nothing can make that pile of dribble look fun. But anyway, here's episode 11, Blood Warrior.
Alright, so Kaneko's Blood Warrior. Let's take a look at the characters. We got female ninja, Kazajizo, stereotypical samurai, ghost armor, Guemon, and apparently the Kabuki warrior from Quantum Warrior Kabuki on the NES. Alright, right off the bat you notice some ridiculous character portraits. Also, I have to comment on the funny stances of the characters. Look how they stand. That is ridiculous. They could have done a better job digitizing actors than that. Now, when Mortal Kombat digitized sprites, they did it relatively well. This game, not so much. Imagine if people really walked and talked and stood like this in real life.
Hey man, what are you doing?
Oh, nothing. About to go take a test.
Alright, see you later.
Alright, see you. Anyway, yeah, the characters, I will give it to them, the cast of characters is really colorful, but at the same time, most of them are just stupid. Now, they tried to be original by adding in, oh gosh, look at that. Instead of adding in, like, the standard Shoryuken and, dragon uppercut motions found in every 2D fighter that's a dime a dozen, they tried to throw in some unique commands, which I have to give them credit for, but at the same time, by breaking the mold, they didn't really pull it off well. I mean, like, some of the character moves are ridiculous things, like back diagonal, forward diagonal, and a punch, which, I mean, it works, it's not all that hard to pull off, but at the same time, it's really annoying in the heat of battle. If you really are in a heated battle situation in this game, I really doubt we'll be seeing this one at Evolution 2009 fighting tournament, but, yeah, obviously the game's a Mortal Kombat ripoff, as you can tell by the copious amounts of blood spewing forth. Yeah, it appeared about that time. Tried to mix 2D and Mortal Kombat type fighting, and I mean, it somewhat to a degree works. This isn't the worst fighter ever. I mean, this kicks tattoo assassins behind hands down, but at the same time, just the overall goofiness, and the CPU is really easy to beat, and the move commands are really weird, and some characters are unbalanced completely. Like, there's a few characters like Binky, for instance. He looks like, I dare not say cool, because none of the characters in this game are very cool at all, but he's, you know, he carries a sack full of weapons. He should be a pretty bad character, you know, but instead he just really has these few lame moves, most of which revolving around a bowling ball that was put on the end of a chain by the development staff and digitized. And also the fatalities are really lame. They're just your standard move, only for some reason when you execute them they cut your opponent in half. Not very ingenuitive, excuse me, I can't speak. And once again I point out how goofy the motions look. Backgrounds are kind of plain too. Most of them just consist of like a background in some random oriental place with like some dudes cheering in the background. Okay, I reset because I wanted to show you some more goofy characters. Alright, here's the Binky guy I was talking about, and I'm going to fight Sogethu, or I don't know how to pronounce that. Once again, we see the aerobics class standing animation that I made fun of earlier. I just can't get over how this Binky guy walks and stands. It looks like he's got like a board going from his thigh to his ankle or something. He's trying to walk like that. Really, as far as the special moves, once you manage to execute them, they're nothing you haven't seen before. Sword slash waves and no real rising uppercuts. Most of them are just projectiles and like the IQ guy, he actually surrounds himself in a shield and rushes at you, which, I mean, it's stuff that's been done before. And the Kappa guy that I'll show you later, the one that's based off the Japanese mythology of the Kappa, he's a pretty much more or less a Dazlum ripoff from Street Fighter 2, which I'm really not familiar with the time period. I really doubt this came first. I mean, I'm sure Dazlum was the first to have extending limbs, but Either way, we'll just say this game copied Street Fighter 2. It's too bad they didn't copy Mortal Kombat's... Oh gosh, listen to that. You probably couldn't hear that as well as I'd liked. Look at that. Looks like he's on heroin. I mean, you couldn't... A lot of the complaints I got with episodes 1 through 10 of the series was that you couldn't hear me well enough because of the voice to video sound ratio, so I'm trying something different with this one. You may not be able to hear me as well, but I figure that a lot of the games I review, the sound isn't really worth hearing anyway, so as long as you can kind of hear it a little bit and you can hear what I'm saying, it might balance the problem. I'm just going to see what the feedback is. If you like not being able to hear me well, maybe we'll go back to that in episode 12. But anyway, I really wanted to redo the show after 10, and that's what I'm trying to do is, make it something. Look at that. That Kappa is spanking his behind like it's some sort of 90s music video or something. Which, of course, this did come out in the 90s, but that's no reason for digitized fighters to start doing it. Yeah, it's really a shame about this game. See, there's the Doslam ripoff I was telling you about. I would say if they would tighten up the gameplay a little bit, make the characters more balanced, because, I mean, some characters just have a move for every situation, like the Kabuki guy. He's got a projectile, he's got a close range sweep attack that covers a full circle. And look at that. And a lot of characters just really aren't balanced because, I mean, you got this Binky guy. I was complaining earlier about his weapons. He has no moves. And you got this Kenshiro guy. And a lot of the voice clips are just really ridiculous too. Like, they don't make sense. They have no purpose. Like, this guy talks about a killer tattoo or something about when he wins. But the problem is I really don't see any tattoos on him. Because he's wearing a full covering garb, unless he's got some sort of invisible one. I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. Blah blah, some more lame attacks. Rainbow slash attack. Okay, here comes the killer tattoo thing. Listen to this, it's hilarious.
My killer tattoo?
Killer tattoo? No, I don't see it actually. So yeah, you just pick a character and you fight through all these other lame characters, and you can pretty much button mash or special move your way through. If you really want to beat it, just pick the Kabuki guy. His down and hard punch attack is his hair swipe that'll pretty much hit any of the dumb as nails CPU. But yeah, it's a regular tournament fighter. You fight your way through, and at the end you get a really lame ending. There is no boss. You just beat all the characters, and it shows your character standing under a sign that says "Congratulation." And no, I didn't mispronounce that. It says "Congratulation." No S. Congratulations. So yeah, this is Blood Warrior. It's kind of lame, as you can tell. The big punchline of this review was that skit of me bouncing around like I was on drugs earlier. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. Episode 11's coming up sometime soon. Oh gosh, that's ridiculous. I have no idea what it'll be about or what game or anything. But needless to say, you can expect more of my dry sense of humor and more good or bad games. Anyway, the final score for Blood Warrior is 4 out of 10. So low because it's unoriginal, the sprites look really goofy, sound effects are goofy, and it's really easy, and the original, I guess you'd say, command motions make it a bit harder to execute moves than it should be. Overall, it just feels very unfinished, very plain, like maybe a side project. Doesn't feel like a big release game at all, which I guess it kind of is. But I don't feel like I'm being harsh because it is just a Mortal Kombat cash-in and violence cash-in. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the review. Maybe I'll have more than 15 subscribers after this one airs. And we'll see you next time on Torentsu's Game Review Show.